Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Well, today we're going to have an in-depth look at Stphen Dedalus, a very strange and fascinating human being. We're going to have an exclusive interview, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy Stphen.
Okay, Stephen, remember last time you were here, we were talking about your childhood, so let's go more into that. How do you feel about your childhood?
Well, I remember it as a sad, lonely thing. Little boys used to push me into ditches, just like I got this right here, so I got that. I was so questionable and I was scared, and I was so afraid of sinning that I couldn't help but sin more and more until I didn't know what I was doing anymore.
You didn't know what you were doing anymore. Now, when you say you didn't know what you were doing anymore, were other people telling you what to do?
God
God was telling you to sin.
He was telling me not to sin, but it was just so hard not to. It seemed like I couldn't really be myself.
Let's talk about your past compulsion with sin, so you called it. These meetings with prostitutes and lying and sneaking out, why did you partake in that, Stephen?
It just really appealed to me at the time. I don't know, I just found them so alluring.
Alluring, it's a good word to use. So, what made them unalluring, shall we say?
Hell, demons, the devil, eternity.
Eternity. So you felt that you had to forsake what you thought was alluring because of hell.
But yeah, it didn't quite seem to outweigh it. An eternity in hell is terrifying.
So you were afraid.
Completely.
So do you think those fears led to the haunting dreams at night?
Most probably.
So do you think that could lead to the self-torture that you're putting yourself through now?
That seems reasonable enough. I don't see why not. I still want to a certain degree, sin like I used to, but I know I shouldn't.
So now that you turn over a new leaf, do you think you can maybe even go into the priesthood? I remember you stating something about the offer. Do you think you could do that now?
No, that's too much for me. I'm not sure if I can go down that path that far. I think that's completely... I can't give myself up to that religion. Not now, anyhow.
Well, what appeals to you now at this moment, aside from the lingering want of sin? What appeals to you now?
Right now, just wanting to find myself, I suppose. Just be my own person, discover what I think is moral and truly wrong and right.
And how do you think you can do that?
I think I need to go away and experience my life somewhere else where all this religion is being crammed down my throat by my family and friends and my country. I think maybe I should go somewhere like America or something.
America. Do you feel like your problems will disappear in America?
I think they have a better chance. I feel like I have more liberty and freedom there.
So what if they follow you there? What if, because you are so free and at liberty to do what you please, what if you just slip back into old habits? How will you stop yourself from doing that?
Maybe it was meant to be. Maybe it's what I should be doing.
What if the guilt and torture return?
I don't know. I can't answer that now.
Okay, that's fine. So, Stephen, let's talk about these lingering childhood issues that you have. Let's talk about your home life before you went to boarding school. What do you remember about that?
Well, we moved around a lot, but my family is quite wealthy. I enjoyed my parents, and they seemed to show me love. There weren't too many, I didn't have too many siblings at the time. Now I have many, but when I was a child, and they sent me out, right before they sent me off to boarding school, they truly cared about me.
Okay. What are your memories about your father in particular? I know you guys really began to fall apart as you began to go into the university. So what was with that?
Before, we used to spend all our time together, go out and really be able to relate to each other and have real good bonding moments. And he was very successful. He was always very happy, and he was glad with what he did and his family. He loved us all. But as I went away, things weren't so good for him at the same time, so we kind of fell apart that way. Neither of us was doing very well.
Stephen, what about your mother? I know she still cares for you whenever you go home and you're very happy to see her. How was your relationship in the past?
In the past, it's probably about the same as my father's, and once again, that's dwindled as well.
Do you think your father and your mother have influenced your decision to break away from, shall we say, religion and your past beliefs? Do you think they've influenced that?
Possibly. They did do a lot to present it to me, and I don't want to say force it upon me, but that may have been what they did. I knew they cared, and they thought it was better for me, help me fit in society, and that's what they believe, or at least believe. I don't know, but yeah, I'd say they play a pretty big role about it.
Do you think you have a problem, Stephen?
How so?
Like, do you think you're like everyone else? Do you think you fit in with the views of society here?
In Ireland, no. No.
Do you think that's a problem here, if you don't fit in?
I think it's a problem with Ireland. I'm fine.
Now, we're going to have an in-depth discussion with a few of Stephen's friends and acquaintances.
Mrs. Dedalus, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you please describe to me what Stephen was like as a child?
He was very different. He liked to be by himself and go out of the box, be different. Like, I tried to change him and say, go to church, go pray to God. And he would just ignore me and draw.
Did that bother you, Miss Dedalus?
Yes, I love God very much. I go to church all the time.
And in turn, you wanted Stephen to do the same.
Of course, of course.
So, say for instance, Stephen decided or chose not to believe in God. How would you feel about that?
I would be very upset. I love God.
So, what was the best quality that you saw in Stephen as his mother?
Well, he was very deep. He saw things in his head that children didn't see. He was very deep, and he, at a point, loved God, but I don't know.
So I take it religion is a big part of your family.
Yes, and I just can't connect with him anymore. If he doesn't believe in God, then I can't believe in him.
So, Cranley, what do you think is the difference between Stephen and everyone else?
Yo no sé, el niño está loco.
Okay, well, since he's crazy, you say he's crazy. What makes him crazy?
Todo. La iglesia,
Everything?
todo.
Everything.
Los padres.
Is it because he's different from everyone else?
Bien raro.
Do you think he's making a good decision going away?
No sabría decirte, no creo.
Okay. Well, I know you guys had a long conversation a while ago about him just respecting his parents and going to church, and he just simply refused. Do you agree with him on those terms?
Yo creo que sus padres tienen la razón, pero no sabría decirte, son problemas familiares. Yo como amigo trato de ayudarle, pero no sé qué hacer.
Do you think with the right help he'll eventually be okay? Like he'll be able to make it without falling back into his old
Yo creo que
habits?
sí, que él puede hacerlo.
So, you and Stephen were close.
Yeah,
Was there anything special between you two?
not that much anymore. He used to talk to me all the time, but he just isolated himself and just doesn't talk to me anymore.
So is he like that with just you? Did you guys have like a falling out or something?
I feel like he's been like that with everyone and just doesn't talk to anyone. And he's had openings to talk to me. He just,
So you are interested in Stephen?
yes, but
So
he
he doesn't come off as rude or arrogant or
not to me.
just different,
Yeah, just different, but a good different, a likable different.
a likable different.
So, you and Stephen bumped heads really intensely. Why do you think that was?
He was weird and creepy, and no one talked to him, and he didn't talk to anyone else.
You didn't talk to anyone else. Did you find that offensive?
I just thought it was weird, so.
So you didn't find it offensive or disrespectful. You just.
I thought that he was better than everyone else, so I was mean to him and bullied him.
In a way, do you think he could have been better than anyone else?
No.
Well, that about wraps up our in-depth look at Stphen Dedalus. So now we leave the question up to you. Is Stphen a normal adolescent teenager going through crazy hormones and the emotional roller coaster of life? Or is he abnormal? Does he have special qualities that make him, shall we say, odd? And perhaps, does he have a personality disorder? Good night.
In a way, do you think he could have been better than anyone else?
No. Actually, I'm better.